Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking right now with a returning guest, Sean Higgs. His website is njwiseguys.com, and some of you might remember him from last year. He came on at the end of last year and gave us some surprisingly excellent picks in the NFL, including one pick. I forgot which game it was, but I remember the line moved against you by like 4 or 5 points, and he wound up covering that one by a mile. So he was the sharp side on that one. Again, his name is Sean Higgs from njwiseguys.com, and I'm very happy to have him back this year with us. Sean Higgs, thanks for being back with us.
Oh, appreciate it, Peter. Thank you. And that was the Kansas City-San Diego game at the end of the year.
And your analysis was dead on with that one, and you could understand why, you know, the market moved the way it did because there were reasons for it. But your analysis was much sharper and turned out to be right. It wasn't a close call. It was a cover by a mile. So Sean Higgs, you only did a few videos with us last year, but you definitely impressed us. And you know, we're going to see how you do this year. I'm very happy to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about njwiseguys.com so people can know a little more about you.
Yeah, well, it's a great multi-capper site. A lot of top guys on there. The best thing about it is you got so many people on there. You know, about 13, 14 guys. Plenty of free content, daily free picks, articles, previews, fantasy sports, obviously huge now, so we touch on football and baseball for that. So it's a good one-stop shop for a bunch of aspects of the sports world.
All right, Sean Higgs. Arkansas State and Tennessee is the college game we're going to cover. And I'll tell you what, Sean Higgs, you know, in week one, someone from SBR, I'm not exactly sure who it was, covered the Tennessee-Utah State game. And I think they picked Utah State because that game got like as many comments as like a World Cup game. Everyone was piling on, just slamming the SBR capper, who I think picked Utah State. And, you know, people were just saying what an idiot he was and like blah, 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 blah. So Tennessee here is a 16-point favorite. So, you know, if you're going to pick Arkansas State here, just make sure they don't get blown out because these people will notice and they will comment. You know, Tennessee, of course, they blasted Utah State. They came right out, hit him in the mouth, and they were super fast and aggressive on defense, and Utah State just couldn't recover. Can they do it a second week in a row? Probably. They do have Oklahoma, you know, coming up next week, so it could be a bit of a look-ahead spot for them. Arkansas State, you know, kind of a similar team to a Utah State, and they actually have some similar weaknesses. The question is just, will Tennessee be able to do it 2 weeks in a row? My sense is that they'll probably not have quite the intensity on defense as they had in week one. I definitely wouldn't want to take Arkansas State plus 16 here, but if I had to bet this game, I think I'd take a shot with the over at 51. What's your take on these lines, Sean Higgs?
Well, I have to say I had Utah State last week, and I was a loser. You know, listen, they jumped out fast. It was 14-0 after a touchdown. They fumbled the kickoff. 17-0 at the half. They never recovered. And listen, like you said, you just mentioned the defense of Tennessee, very aggressive, played tough football. But I'm going with the dog. I'm taking the Red Bulls here. Hey, listen, they got 8 guys back on defense, 7 of them in the secondary. As good as the Volunteers quarterback, Justin Worley, looked, the guy completed 13 straight passes. Maybe the line's a little inflated because, you know, the Sharps, a lot of people did like the dog there last week, and they came out, they, you know, blew the doors off. It wasn't even a contest. They scored in like the really late in the game. You know, by that time the game was out of reach. So I think Tennessee's getting a little overinflated value here. They have Oklahoma up next, so possible letdown. No matter Arkansas State, they got a new coach now. I think it's like the 5th coach in 5 years over there. Yeah. You know, they have Malzone over there, Hugh Freeze, Brian Hansen. The new guy now, Hansen, not Hansen. He just left for Boise.
Right.
He's at New Mexico, Southern Miss, North Carolina. All offenses that produced yardage, rushing, and passing. So it's not one-dimensional. They got a dual-threat quarterback. I think they'll catch Tennessee a little off guard because, again, after a big win, the line's going to be inflated. The public's all over the Volunteers, and yet the line came down from the opening number 17.
Well, yeah, I mean, historically, you know, Tennessee has not been the most reliable team week in and week out to bet on. So I could easily see a letdown here. It's just they did look so good in that week one, and that's why. And you know, it could be though a look ahead spot as well for Tennessee. That's why though I feel just a little bit more comfortable taking the over at a relatively low total of 51. You know, Arkansas State year after year they do have you know, they pick you know good offensive players, speedy offensive players. So if Tennessee you know lets up a little bit in terms of defensive intensity, you know, Arkansas State probably won't be able to stop Tennessee that well. I'm thinking the game gets over 51. What do you think about that?
I agree with you. I mean, last year they played Auburn and Missouri, both SEC championship game representatives last year. So this is almost a step down for them. And, you know, they didn't put up a ton of points in those games, like around 30 combined, but also better teams. I don't think Tennessee's in that kind of level. And I can see them putting up 30 points here. I like the offense that much. And again, it's what the public sees first. They see a Tennessee team come out and crush them in major. Everybody's going to be on them. They look great. Nobody really knows about Arkansas State. And like I said, Blake Anderson's the new head coach here. Took over for Hansen, who left to Boise. And Malzone, the guy's a good recruit. He's over in Auburn. Hugh Freeze, another good recruiter. So the players are there. He's had offenses in North Carolina. He's had them in South Carolina, UL Lafayette, all prolific offenses. I think it'll spawn here for the Red Wolves, and I think they're covered. Usually I take a dog. I think dog outright. In this case, I could see them sticking within 10.
Well, I'm going to go with the over 51 in this one, and you're going to take Arkansas State plus 16. Well, if they cover, you're going to get a lot of kudos. But if it's another Tennessee blowout, you're going to hear it on YouTube. So just be prepared. Sean Higgs from NJWiseGuys.com.